Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Power. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright? Now look, so for this one, we're gonna be talking about 9/11. Yeah, the Twin Towers. You know what I'm saying? Alright. So a few videos ago that I made, I was speaking on the blackout, you know what I'm saying, of 2003. I said that the blackout was around 2000, 2001, but it happened in 2003. Somebody came in the comments and corrected me. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out, you know what I'm saying, for correcting me. Like I said before, I know I be off on the timing sometimes, but the stories that I tell be accurate, but my timing be off sometimes. I don't be Googling shit or none of that. I just be coming off the dome with how I remember things. But, like I said, y'all bear with me on the time, and sometimes my time be bald, you know. But this one, 9/11, timing ain't bald here. You know what I'm saying? This was 2001. Yeah, that was 2001. September 11th, 2001. At that time, let me see. So 2001, I was 12 at that time. You know what I'm saying? So I was in what was that? Eighth grade, seventh, eighth grade, one of them. I can't remember. I know it was middle school. You know what I'm saying? Actually, that might have been eighth grade, I think. But all right. So I know I was in middle school, and I was always bad as hell. So I would never go to class or anything like that. So I don't remember what classes I was taking or none of that. Like I was just always bad ever since elementary. You know what I'm saying? But just so happened, this was one of them days when security wasn't playing with us, was skipping in the halls and things like that. So we had to be in our classrooms on this day. So all of the bad kids that used to skip in the hallways and, run outside and be outside skipping shit like that, like they had the school on lock this day. I remember this much. Like I said, I don't remember what class I was in, but I remember this day. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They had us in class on this day. Well, while we was in class, I remember the teacher had got a phone call. Now, in this class, that teacher, she would sleep. She would literally fall asleep. Like, no lie. She had put the work on the board. I think it was an English class. I can't remember. But she would put the work on the board, tell us what pages to do it out of, and she'd literally sit in her chair and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? That was her thing. She would just pass out, and she didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Other teachers would come to her class, you know, say things to her, shit like that, and she be asleep. You know what I'm saying? They got to tap her on the shoulder, wake her up and shit. Like, everybody knew that she would just go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So while this 9/11 thing was going on, we all in the class throwing paper at each other, making paper planes, flying them and shit. We being bad as hell. You know what I'm saying? We being middle school kids. You know what I'm saying? Junior high school type kids. You know what I'm saying? So she over there sleep. Phone get the ringing, right? Woke her up. She got up. She answered the phone. She like, what? Oh my God. There's no way. So we all get quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck going on? When we get quiet, she cut the TV on. You know what I'm saying? Sure enough, it was the Twin Towers. It was showing them going down. You know what I'm saying? Like the plane crashed into them, the building collapsing, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy as hell. But we didn't know what that was. We just seen some buildings crashing, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't know what the fuck it was. So next thing you know, she got off the phone with whoever she was talking to. She ran out the hallway. She got to telling the other teachers, all the other teachers cutting their TVs on. Everybody in the school was all tuned in to the news, about 9/11. Again, us as kids, we don't know what the fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? But all the adults knew what was going on. So after that, they did a school lockdown, you know what I'm saying? All type of shit. Like it got real serious, behind what we seen on TV with some towers just falling, you know what I'm saying? But it was way deeper than that, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't know, you know. Man, they locked the school down. They cut everything short right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Like no more school, none of that. We all had to call our people to come get us and all of that shit, and they was escorting us out the building. They had security, they had cops there, all type of shit. Like, like that shit was serious, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people was scared and crying and, you know, didn't nobody know what was going on. We thought that the world was about to end, you know, how it just went from being a good day, you know what I'm saying, to all of a sudden, this is going on. Like, what the fuck just happened? So a lot of people were scared for their life. We all saying goodbye to each other, while we walking out to the cars, because we don't know if we ever gonna see each other again. We don't know what the fuck going on. We seeing helicopters flying around, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know what was going on. So a lot of people was just scared. You know what I'm saying? While we walking out the school to the cars, the parents with the kids asking the parents what's going on. The parents don't got no answers for nobody. So a lot of people was just scared, man. 9/11 that was a scary ass day, And I remember when I got home, I asked my mom what was going on. And she didn't have an answer for me either. So didn't none of us have an answer to what was going on. We didn't know what the fuck was going on, man. That was a weird time, and it was like it just came and it went. We never got a real answer out of what happened. It was just something later on down the line that we had to learn. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't really start learning it till we like got to high school, but it was what it was, man. That was just some crazy timing, But yeah, 9/11, it had us shook, Mind you, we junior high school kids, so we didn't know what the fuck was going on. We thought the world was about to end. It was ugly, but that's life for you, man. Lesson here is don't take life for granted. You know what I'm saying? You could be here 1 minute, laughing and giggling, thinking everything's sweet, and then the next minute it can all be over. You know what I'm saying? You never know what can happen that can, change the world for real. So stop taking life for granted. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate what you got for the time you have it, because all good things come to an end. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you live life easy. You do things how you supposed to, and you going to get out of it what you put in it. Been another episode of Roll Up a Power Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.